Naam, ni Ijumaa tarehe 7 mwezi wa pili mwaka 2025. Hujambo mpenzi mteule na karibu katika makala ya The Football Slip. Mimi ni wako Hassan Juma. Najua nijiuliza ikawaje leo nimesimama eneo hili kwa sababu mwenzangu Robinson Okenye yupo likizo. Tumemsukuma yupo katika eneo lile la ndizi. Kwa hivyo jamaa wa mlima ametoa nafasi yangu, lakini mimi nikachukua nafasi hii ya Robinson Okenye kabla kuwatambulisha wenzangu ambao tupo nao katika makala haya ya The Football Slip. Mitandao ndio kuza kaula fungamana na mchuano babu kubwa, maana yake ni mchuano ambao ni derby la Madrid. Real Madrid watakuwa kwa nyumbani dhidi ya Atletico Madrid. So Real Madrid will be hosting Atletico Madrid at their Santiago Bernabeu Stadium this weekend in their La Liga match. So we're asking you, which team is going to win the Madrid Derby? Which team is going to win the Madrid Derby between Real Madrid, the host, and Atletico Madrid in this weekend's La Liga match? Talk to us. Mimi niko katika mtandao ya X @Hassan Juma. Aro Kenya, najua la matoke kwa sasa, lakini bado anafuatilia kipindi hiki mbashara akiwa aliwaeleza kwa wapi wenzangu. Naambia kwa sauti Mugirango. Akini sauti Mugirango. Sauti
Mugirango. Na unajua
mimi nimeenda kwa kina Robi bwana, sikumbuki kama
ni Wanyamira ama ni Wakisii? Ni Wakisii. Ni Wakisii. Alafu tena ni Friday na
Wanyamira bwana.
Wanyamira na ni Friday na nabugia ndizi. Friday. Jioni tena.
Ni Wanyamira bwana Wakisii guys. Unajua pia nipo kupata hizi information vizuri.
Ni Wanyamira? Ni Wanyamira.
Ni Nyamira Makisii, Nyamira.
Nyamira. Kama Deno amekueleza ni Nyamira, haezi akakosea.
Haezi kosea. Maana yake nilikuwa nampigia simu ndio atueleze kama ni Nyamira ama ni Kisii. Kisii kama kuna network. Well, Dennis Otachi. Robi. Ni Nyamira ama ni Kisii? Nyamira.
Sijakosea.
Nyamira. Sawa bro. Ako Nyamira. It's good to get some of these facts. Amaje mtu wa mlima.
Yuko Nyamira.
Nisiseme ako
Bugia Dizi.
Sauti Mugirango. Na ajeenda huko.
Anyway. Ameenda likizo kidogo. Atulie, na unajua ni vizuri sana kuwa na ushago.
No, what are you trying to say? Yeah, ni vizuri. Watu wa Kiambu. So guys, just a reminder of a Twitter question tonight. Real Madrid will be at home against Atletico Madrid in this weekend's La Liga match. Which team is going to win the Madrid Derby? Which team is going to win the Madrid Derby? Talk to us on X @Hassan Juma. Robi is in Nyamira. R_Kenya @Dennis Otachi. Bro, nimeambiwa ati huko X @uko Facebook.
Si utafute kwanza. Tafuta kwanza uhakikishe kama ni kama sipo.
How are you bro?
I'm well, Hassan, thank you.
How's the week been for you, man?
As always, you know, we are sporty men and sporty guys, and when there's no sports, there's nothing to talk about. But as always, things always keep on turning up and down, and you follow them until the end. But I'm happy. Over the last weekend, our prediction came to fruition. That is Arsenal trying to massacre the dead Manchester City. The dead lion already, yeah.
Tell me.
Oh, it is dead.
You know,
I
wonder why you actually run away from telling us the just recent event, and you try to draw your point back, forgetting what has just happened yesterday. Arsenal actually was massacred by Newcastle. And you are now telling us what happened against Man City.
That was just being humble. It was being humble.
The same team played against Man City is the same team that was shown the door by Newcastle.
You know, that match was won at Emirates.
The word massacre should be deleted, because somebody actually was giving me a permutation and was like asking, okay, Arsenal won against Man City 5 goals against 1, right? 1 minus 5 is equal to 4. And then on aggregate, it was beaten by Newcastle 4-0.
But
what
in
the equation actually brings
We
into
actually have it.
Looking at the current permutation, I think the entire season, this season, Manchester,
we have it.
Newcastle,
We have it in our discussion.
Okay, let me just
We have
Newcastle has beaten Arsenal 3 times. So
you guys are already halfway the show.
It appears it's the bogey team to Arsenal as we speak. Anyway, yeah.
Unajua mkiwapatia nafasi Deno, please do me a favor bro. Unajua jamaa bana, hiki kinaweza sauti bana, ukiwapatia nafasi wataongea mpaka kesho bana. Kwa hivyo ukiona ni kama unaenda segemnege, Shtemi
unamnyoa
hata nyamaza unamnyoa tu. Deno.
Lakini it has been a very good week. Imekuwa na mechi nyingi sana. Na leo Kiingereza nayo punguza leo kuna watu tutatesa sana kwa sababu itakuwa tu ni Kiswahili, Kiingereza kidogo hapa na pale na mnaina hivi.
Watu mrima. Hebu tuangalie games za this weekend, this is the 10 games.
Yeah, of course we have 10 teams that we have selected. So these are the 10 games that we have actually selected for this week. So this is the week's slip, and we have 10 games here. And of course, Tusker FC will be facing Kenya Police. AFC Leopards will be facing Kariobangi Sharks. There is Brighton facing Chelsea. That is definitely FA because there is no EPL. Aston Villa will be facing Tottenham, still FA. Then we have Borussia Dortmund versus Stuttgart. They're going to be facing this weekend. We have Borussia.
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Hiyo amesema.
Kwa wengine wetu ambao tulioenda Ujerumani.
Ukisumbua watu wa mlima na vitu kama hizi utateseka. They will be facing Frankfurt, and then we have Real Madrid facing Atletico Madrid. We have Real Sociedad versus Espanyol, and then we have Napoli versus Udinese and Verona versus Atalanta. These are the 10 games that we have chosen for this weekend or this week. So you can go to our social media handles and maybe you can give us your prediction. We're going to be giving you our predictions later on during the show. Definitely we have had a very good week in matters to do with sports.
Ausio, tuangalie wiki ilikuwaje. This is how the week was. Gor Mahia appointed Croatian Sinic. Ile jina ni gumu. Sinisa Mihic.
Hata watu wa Coast pia wako na maneno ambayo inawasumbua.
Bro, Sinisa Mihic. Mihic. Shtemi, good appointment?
I think it has come at the right moment for Gor Mahia because they've been flip-flopping, blowing hot and cold, and you understand they are chasing another record title. I think their 22nd Kenyan Premier League title. And having looked on how things have been happening when they tried to appoint Zedekia Zikotieno, that is a hot seat, you understand. Gor Mahia, they are so demanding. The fans are always demanding. When you don't perform, they don't care whether you are their legend or you have performed there before. They want the results. But unfortunately, all boils down to the type of players you have. When you don't have quality players, there's no way you can get this right. Sometimes it's also about luck.
So to cut you short, I have a problem with sometimes with Gor Mahia. They perform so well, they win the league, but when it comes to continental, is where they seem to draw the line.
I think the rain started beating Gor Mahia way back, I think, was it 2018, 2019 there. I think the trajectory was going so well. And I understand that was the moment when our league looked somehow stable. And unfortunately, the exit of Sport Pesa, and then that was before Super Sport also ditched the league. I think that's when things started going south. And I understand back then we had so quality players, and the league was really attracting foreign-based players, be it from Zambia, be it from Uganda, be it from the West, and they had quality players in the name of Tuisenge, the name of Khalid Aucho, in the name of Baba Kizito. Those are some of the players back then Gor Mahia used to depend on, and the results were therefore able to see. And they actually competed with some of the best teams in the continent.
So Arsenal thumped Manchester City in the Premier League last weekend. It's one of our moments of the week. I don't know. We'll also take on this young man and this team.
It was a moment actually for Arsenal to shine, and also given that that heated debate that was there actually culminating to this particular event needed Arsenal to rise to occasion and bring that particular kind of temperature somehow down. Remember the word humble that where it culminated from, where it started from.
Remain humble.
Yeah, it was an essence of trying to grace to occasion and bring that kind of calmness and respect where it prevails most. You know, you ask me, Arsenal were not actually playing to their best. Even when they happened to win, they were not winning to their best. They are winning against the odds. They wanted actually to tell whatever that was happening that we are the Arsenal and we are playing before our fans. So they raised to occasion to impress their fans. And you can actually permute that to the case study thereafter what happened. If Arsenal was actually good enough to go ahead and give us the kind of quality that we experienced against Man City, then they would have gone ahead and confirmed against Newcastle, which was not the case.
Sedo, has Arsenal turned a page? Because, I mean, for me, it was a match between a teacher and the student, Pep Guardiola versus Mikel Arteta. You know?
Yeah, in most cases, you remember that these students actually, they will always work hard to host their teachers. And it's not necessarily even working hard. Sometimes it's that ego that actually is built into the students. If your teacher was a master degree holder, you will want to be a PhD holder. So as again, you can share the same podium with your teacher, and that respect can prevail. And that was the case of actually, I think, Guardiola and Arteta. And also given to the essence that Guardiola, when he actually was coming to Arsenal, some of those heated conversation, the banter and everything, remember what Haaland has said about the humbleness and everything, came to fore. And that kind of rivalry, which has not been there before. I think Arsenal is much rival to Manchester United and Manchester City. But because of the Manchester City dominance, the dominion in the league and what have been, Arsenal needed actually to bring them down and try also to send a statement that here we are ready even to try to give Liverpool a run for their money until to the tail end of this particular league.
Unazungumzia mambo ya Arsenal kutoa shinikizo, kutoa upinzani. Angalia Karaoke bwana.
Naam.
Dimba la Carabao. Wakafanya vizuri dhidi ya vijana Pep Guardiola.
Pep.
Walipoingia katika michuano ya Carabao dhidi ya Newcastle United. Angalia ilikuwa ni kilio tu.
Kwenye semi-final. Hakuna bao hata moja. Nyumbani na ugenini. Na ndio nikakueleza leo Kiingereza tuna But before Shtemi talks, now Arsenal, I think I would advise Arteta to concentrate more on the EPL and maybe Champions League. Why I'm saying this, not only this season, even as the season progresses, even the next season, I think he does well with the league. Are you talking about the same? Yes, he does well with league games, and when you look at tournaments, he's not very good with tournaments because anakimbiza ligi vizuri sana, lakini when it comes to tournament anatolewa mapema sana. Look at FA ametolewa mara ngapi sasa? I think this is the third season anatolewa before even getting to the fifth round. Anatolewa ya tatu ama ya nne, third or fourth round since he came, but at least he has won one. And then you look at Carabao, hiyo hata ni mara ya kwanza anafika quarter semi-finals this time round. Anatoleangwa mapema sana. I think when it comes to league games, he is very articulate and also plans very well for that particular game maybe. There's something he was saying actually.
I think in English said there's something called a case of a kettle calling the pot black. You know, you're focusing so much on maybe Arsenal weaknesses, but looking at the depth this team has, definitely, you can say that they can compete across all this competition very well, because we all agree that indeed Arsenal lack depth in the forward line, and they've really been struggling. Look at the people who have been scoring goals. Mostly they've been backing on their defenders. But unfortunately, coming about Newcastle game, this game was lost at Emirates. Even going to St. James Park, that was just a ceremonial thing, because there's no way the mentality of Arsenal players compared to Newcastle. This team, remember, they lost 2-0 to Manchester in the League Cup in 2023. So they know exactly how important Carabao is to them. So they need to go there and prove our point that yes, we lost in 2023 in the final at Wembley, but we have another chance and go and prove it. But unfortunately, from where I sit, it will be a tall order for them to beat Liverpool, because that final will be more interesting if we had a team like maybe Arsenal in the final. So it could have given us another final before the league
So Newcastle has done away with Arsenal in the semi-final.
Yes.
But at the final, you feel it is not going to do well. And yet it performed well versus Arsenal.
We can look at the league, how they have been performing against Liverpool in the recent years.
Sorry, Steve, Sedo. So Newcastle will be in the final against Liverpool, right?
Yes.
They've knocked out Arsenal.
Yes.
Why are we not putting our money on Newcastle? Because Liverpool are fighting for the Premier League.
Yeah.
They are fighting for the Champions League.
And they won it last season.
When you compare
and then
Carabao and these other titles, you know, Premier League and Champions, these are big championship. So it could be the only title Eddie Howe is winning. You know, Carabao.
I hear what Shitemi is trying actually to say. Maybe the mere fact that they would have been given it all against Arsenal and maybe draining down the energy, that if the essence, if it was in the case of the tournament, as Karuk would have said, because tournament actually gives like 2-3 days and then you face another match. But in this kind of circumstances whereby they have a lull there maybe to recollect themselves and then try to accumulate kind of permutation before they face the final, that is a very different ball game altogether. Essence being, if you watch how Newcastle plays, they are not at a hurry to score, but they are so cautious to defend. I watched them against Arsenal. They are defending like a block, and when they attack, they are attacking like a bee. Each and every player actually, they were in a run.
They are all over them.
All over. So these are a team that they know actually what they are into this particular kind of league games. They know when they are facing bigger teams, and they know when it's to defend and when it's to attack. And when they advance their agenda to attack, you can see them advancing in each and every corner. Isak at the center, you will say something, even Trippier was actually traveling up front, trying to bring those kind of crosses. So if it comes to this, they know very well that the league is far away from them.
Where are you putting your money?
This is the only silverware that they can maybe run, and it's so close to them. It has actually come close to the door. Why and again not give it all and go? Liverpool, they are chasing the EPL. They only have option in this, and I think they will give it whatever they have. They throw everything into that particular pitch to ensure that they end up winning this particular.
Guys, let's move to the transfers. Marcus Rashford moved from on loan though, from Manchester United to Aston Villa. Nonaje, bro? Was it a good move?
Yeah, it is, because, you know, Champions League football and relegation football, which one can you decide? Because, of course, Manchester right now are struggling.
But I feel like he lacks a good agent. Because at some point there was talk of him joining PSG or Barcelona. Then he moved to Aston Villa.
No. Hear this. Because you also need to go somewhere that can uplift your confidence. Because Marcus right now has been struggling with this confidence. And going to Aston Villa, a place where maybe we have seen what Unai Emery has done with these players. Because he tried to transform an ordinary player into a superstar. And we know what Marcus used to do. Given chance, he can win for you games. And trust me not, having had his experience with Amorim, he wants to show Amorim that, yes, you never trusted me, you never give me time, but if you had, I will have delivered. Let me go to Aston Villa and show you who the Marcus Rashford of Sir Ferguson is. And I'm pretty sure at Aston Villa is going to recover and rediscover his scoring touch.
Any other transfer that maybe top of mind that you feel was big during this short transfer window?
Actually, what
Aston Villa, I think
Asensio, you know? But he's on loan. I think he wasn't actually performing well at PSG. And remember, he was warming just the bench, and I think it was an avenue to find him more playing time, so that, and again, the PSG, the likes of Luis Enrique, can assess if he's still valuable and maybe recall him back. If it's not the case, maybe he can go ahead and sell him.
He scored a brace, by the way. This guy has scored a brace.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, Juma, there's also Nico Gonzalez. That is the guy maybe Man City have tried to buy so that he can replace, come in as a replacement for injured Rodri. Remember, they have been really struggling since Rodri suffered the injury. And maybe from what you have seen, having already spent like 27 billion during this transfer window, Pep Guardiola is trying maybe to resuscitate his team because it's full of oldie guys. So bringing these young players, maybe it can somewhat try to turn around their season.
He has actually used 218 million pounds to for the transfers in January.
Yes, why are we not talking about this guy?
Duran, he is very young, by the way. And he has scored a brace.
Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia.
And he's very young, by the way, Sedo. Very young and moving to Saudi, where most feel like he to retire at 21, I think.
He is young and been in a certain avenue of conversation where people feel like Saudi is out there to kill the careers of these young, promising footballers. Right. Remember the amount of money they are putting on Vinicius Junior's head, the amount of money that they are trying actually to the likes of Rodrigo to cross over to Saudi Arabia. They were so lucky enough, and I think they're desperate that, and I really put all the blames to Unai Emery, simply because this player actually wanted more play time that he was not getting at Aston Villa, and I don't know why. Anytime he would come from bench,
he was doing well as a
lethal.
Anytime he would come from bench, he would score. So I was doubting myself why he was not being given maybe enough playing time in that particular team.
Bro, because of the time.
Turudi nyumbani kwa sababu this weekend we are going to have a very good game, or rather a very big game. Kenya Police will be facing Tusker. And this is the standing, as you can see. Kenya Police is top of the table.
Actually, just goal difference.
The goal difference is what has actually separated the two, has put Kenya Police as number 1 and Tusker number 2. Then definitely this is a very big game, Sedo and Eshitemi. Number 3 is Gor Mahia, AFC Leopards at number 4. And then number 5, Otachi, number 5 is KCB, Bandari, and then Shabana pale. I had to ensure Shabana is there because of the mtu ya Nyamira.
Unajua tulikuwa tuweke
tufike 5.
Lakini utacha kiweka Shabana.
Hakisha Shabana. But what do you think about this game? Let me start with the Shitemi. Police facing Tusker. Of course, Tusker has been having a very good game of
Whoever
late.
wins takes charge of
it is a top of the table clash, and I feel it's going to decide, maybe try to separate boys from men, bearing in mind that both teams are currently enjoying a fine run of form, and looking on how things are happening, I think Police have an edge based on the fact that they struggle to get last minute, or rather an equalizer late in the game when they played against, was it Sofapaka last weekend? And also Tusker on the other end had drop points. I can't remember which team they played against. So somehow you feel like maybe Police could have an edge, but also they have faced a threat in the name of this young boy, Ryan Ogam, who has been scoring goals for fun. Right. And having also maybe his deal to Algeria fallen through, he has a chance to prove himself that he can continue scoring those goals.
Of course, Sedo, Tusker for a very long time inakujanga inabisha sana, inabisha. Then all of a sudden, Gor Mahia from nowhere inakuja inawapita. This game, is it going to define maybe the season for Tusker?
No, it's still far away actually to call a definition kind of match, because they still have so much, many matches ahead of them. But I think pressure is on the side of Kenya Police, given the experienced kind of player that is carrying into this match. Remember, when Police actually came on board, they tried to pull in this experienced player, and more they were so at some point were being associated with the face of Harambee Star, simply because of the kind of the caliber of players that it was really. And you have seen those players actually starting shading off. I've seen some of them actually calling, they are even one themselves away. The likes of Mataz, they have gone away. Right. Musa Mohamedi, they are not really there. We have the cycle Calabar. So they are in a different kind of cycle, trying again to recultivate themselves. And also, that team called the Police is the team that carries the more indisciplined player in our league. If I may say.
Police is the most indisciplined.
The kind of soccer, right, that we are embracing in this kind of dispensation, the contemporary kind of society, discipline plays a very big role.
So who is going to be winning this match?
I put, and I will kindly put my money on Tusker. Because remember, Tusker has this kind of philosophy, right, that they have assembled, and their urge is to go ahead and amass points so that they can at least continue the area of winning this league.
They are having. Shitemi, who is winning?
I'll go with Police.
Police. It's good. So
I'm putting my money on Police.
On Police. And now, of course, this weekend we have the biggest one. What we are following up, or rather, our big game Madrid of the weekend is Real Madrid
at Santiago Bernabeu against Atletico Madrid. So to buy that, I'm Felix watching from Kitale. Atletico Madrid will win. Jackson from Kinangop, Real Madrid will win 3-1. I'm Bresson from Meru, a Liverpool fan. I'm very happy because qualification of Carabao Cup, and for me natakia Atletico Madrid ushindi mkuu, huku nikisubiri match 16 kuchukua kikombe because okay sawa maandika insha hapo
ni mrefu.
Mwingine ameniambia Atletico Madrid itashinda, El Captain from Buruburu. Sema nasi 22151.
Yeah, 22151 is the SMS number. And of course,
tumia jumbe zenu tutapitia